We entered the shelter system when I was 7.5 months pregnant with Logan and did not have anywhere else to go. We were there 428 days. This is our kitchen, technically. This is what we use to heat up all our meals.
And this is Logan. And he's my little teeny tiny brother.
How old is Logan?
10 months.
Because I could not afford to pay $1,500 in rent by myself. I was let go from the job I had previously, and whatever job I would try to attain while I was pregnant would turn me down because I was very, very pregnant. It is now after lunch. Only 11 months so he's been standing lately, and Abby's having a break from online learning. That's her remote learning device. Not much else going on in here. This is all we have. Here, these four walls. I was surprised to tell you.
What is it?
This is our new apartment.
Yes! That was the surprise!
That was the surprise!
Thanks!
Oh my goodness.
You like it?
Do you like it, Abby? Good, Abby?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has a perfect kitchen.
It has a kitchen.
We can stay here.
Yeah, we can stay here. We're gonna stay here.
I never want to leave this place.
People don't understand. We're not there for fun. It's not cute to be in a shelter. When I first got a shelter, I was so shameful. I was like, oh my God, I'm really in a shelter. I could not believe it. People don't want to be at shelters. When you're a single mom and you have your kid, you want the best for your kid. You don't want to sleep on a subway station. You don't want to sleep in a park. You don't want to sleep in a McDonald's. You don't want to sleep in the 24-hour Walmart area. You want to sleep in a nice place and get a proper bath for you and your kids.
They determine whether or not you're eligible for a shelter placement. There are social workers or case managers who will interview you and do a history, understand how you became homeless, ask you about all of the alternatives to being homeless that you've investigated, check your income. It can take hours. And you have to go through a very complicated process of proving that you're homeless enough.
Being a pregnant mom, you're tired, you're sleepy, but you have to also think about, do I want to have this baby in shelter? A lot of babies are born into shelter. You'd be surprised. It's not just moms coming in to shelter. People are being born into a system what's already not good for them.
In order to bathe him, I would disinfect the sink. The water would come out orange. Could only resort to microwave meals, and that got very expensive. We had one microwave to share with 46 other families. Let's see. I guess let's see what we can find for breakfast here.
Well, you would. Until we change the fundamental system to move towards greater equity, we are going to have a permanent class of people who are transitioning from shelter to an apartment, to homelessness again, to the streets, to shelter, to psychiatric hospitals, to jail and prison. And the only way to end this is to create stable communities with stable housing where people get the support that they need in the place that they live.
This is my daughter, Ariel. She's 3 years old. I was living in the shelter system when my daughter was inside of me. You feel like an animal there. You gotta come back just to sign in. I don't want no single mother going through that at all because it's horrible experience to be in a shelter by yourself and to be alone.
We work with people with rental assistance vouchers of any type.
In order to be eligible for the voucher, you have to be in the shelter for at least 90 days and also hit the other qualifying criteria. Almost all vouchers are meant to be used in the private market. They should be the same as cash, essentially. Many people spend months and months, some people years, looking for an apartment with their voucher.
Once you call and say, I'm interested in I'm interested in this apartment, once they find out you have a voucher, you're either blatantly told straight out, like, we don't take vouchers, which is illegal, or what's really becoming more prevalent is this thing called ghosting, where once they find out you have a voucher, you just never hear back. They used to have a whole unit dedicated to this issue, and they helped so many people get access to housing after they were discriminated against. So right now their unit has been essentially like gutted, and there's just not enough people there to help.
I called someone else and I said I was interested in an apartment. And they were so interested until I say that I have a voucher. This is JLS Realty, 33 Sherman Avenue.
I had a meeting with you, I think.
Yes, Roberto.
Yes, I have my voucher.
Right now, I can't really do much for you, to be honest. Even with the voucher, I still have to qualify you. I still need to see your pay stubs and still need to see all the requirements that are needed.
But being that I have a voucher, I go under different qualifications. It's not the same qualifications for voucher holders.
My job is to get a tenant for the landlord that qualifies with the qualifications. Am I gonna keep contacting them every day?
But that is income discrimination.
That's not me that's doing it.
Yes, I understand.
Okay, but you should have told me this on the phone so I could have told you how the process works for that. You feel me? I could have told you that.
Thank you for your time.
No
Enjoy the rest of your day, Roberto.
I think there's so much of this idea that if someone becomes homeless, it's their fault. And I think if you know much about the system at all, then it becomes really clear that the system sets people up to fail. It's not a personal failure. It's not a moral shortcoming. It's a policy failure, really. You're only one small disaster away from homelessness in New York City. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people teetering on the edge every day.
This is my daughter Jenny, and we are now living in a shelter in Brooklyn. My ultimate goal is really to get out the shelter, have a stable home for my daughter so I could, establish myself. But I don't know anyone here. It's just me and my daughter, and I kind of like it that way. He just started becoming abusive. It started verbally and then it, progressed. I kept trying to justify it because I'm I don't have nowhere to go. And what am I going to do with my daughter? Despite being in the shelter, we're happy. I mean, we don't have everything, but we're very we're good with the little bit of stuff that we have. And I'm pretty sure this is something she's gonna grow up with. She's gonna grow up with being humble, and it's okay not to have everything that everyone else has, because deep down inside, we're happy. We're happy. Genevieve.
Hello?
Hello, good evening. I'm calling to see if you guys have any availability for voucher holders. Okay, okay. For me, the biggest challenge to getting out of the shelter is actually finding a landlord that's willing to accept the voucher. Honey, I know I'm gonna get out the shelter one way or another, even if it's with the voucher or without, but I'm definitely gonna do it.